Good evening, everybody. This is Joyce Earl Zacharias, and I am your feeler sulfur. So, this evening, I'll be sharing to you my thoughts on understanding death. Death is very important, one of the important topics in the study of philosophy of human person. But of course, let us be reminded that we have different approaches, methodologies in the delivery of the subject matter. But of course, the subject matter must not be compromised because the study of philosophy is also the study of life. But let's go back to death and understanding death. So our basic notion, our basic concept of death is usually when the body stops operating on its own, when the heart no longer beats, when the mind or when the brain stops to accept oxygenated blood, and the system, the human systems that we have no longer function. So that is the most common understanding of death among human beings. But if we try to if we try to understand, actually death is actually a twin of life. So when life is here on earth, so its twin is actually death, because they are actually relative terms. So life cannot exist without its twin offspring or its twin, and that is death. So what's the philosophical significance in the study of human death? It give us a better perspective why death occurs, not just in our common notion in the medical field, but also it gives us a wide perspective. That is why we have to tackle holistically this concept. Okay. So one notion, especially with the Buddhist or the Buddhism, um, when the person dies, so their life ends in this dimension, no more other dimension. In Hinduism, for instance, they practice a perfect life because it's their way so that they will not be reincarnated into a lower form of creature. That is why they practice a very meaningful life, so that when they will be reincarnated, so they will reincarnated into a perfect being. So Christianity, we talk of life after death. So that's it. But of course, we cannot just allow our students in the study of the understanding of human death for them to give a better understanding of death by just allowing them to to lie on the coffin. No, that's very scientific. We cannot just put death into experiment, because basically what the subject matter tries to emphasize or tries to teach us is just to give us the better understanding or perspective about death. So we should not compel our students to lie in the coffin as their final requirements, just for them to realize is a better grasp or understanding of the death, because what we have is actually just a perspective. Okay? So in the philosophical aspect, it's a possibility, that will happen to every human being. So a possibility that will happen to every human, and it's a reality. So we cannot escape from it. So just like the way how the thieves get our things when we are asleep. So that's it. So so it's a projection of a every human person, because according to philosophers, certain philosophers, that it will affirm our authenticity as human being. So the perfection that we have, we are living with an imperfect life when we are still alive. But the moment when we die, so we are actually affirming our authenticity as human being. I'm not saying that we are perfect the moment we die, but of course there is that affirmation of an authentic human being. So it's a projection, by the way. So it's a possibility that we are actually projecting, because no matter how we evade it, no matter how we calibrate everything in this world just to extend our life, if extend our life, so it would still be useless, because it's actually part of our projection towards our being. Our being in the world here doesn't mean that we have to stay all the time, but of course we will experience that. Okay, so that's basically that's the part of the explanation of death.